Hey, Avi. Hope all is well and you're enjoying Santiago, Chile. I don't know what their accents are there down there, but I'm sure you do. Anyway, so haven't made a video in a month. I mean, I've been posting on Instagram, but I basically made all these Instagram clips and saved them all throughout the entire month. I was supposed to edit a video every week for you. It was supposed to be easier, but I failed on that. So instead, you're going to get one month in one video. So it's a long video, 17 minutes. I don't expect you to watch it all, but what I've done is I've compared from week to week to week, each day individually per lift. So right now you're seeing squats, you're seeing 5x8 on week one, and then you see 6x6 on week two, and so forth. So you can see the progression through that. So I think this is actually kind of interesting. And definitely gave me a unique perspective to see as the weights were going up and as I was getting used to things. So it's really awesome, but again, it makes for a long video, so feel free to skim through whatever you would like to look at. Definitely will say that I took a beating through this program. At the beginning, I was crying, not actually crying, but I just remember the first day when I had to bench squat and deadlift on the same day. I was so sore from my like 5x8 or 8x5 on squats that I just could barely set up for bench. But by the end of it, I got used to it. I mean, I think the volume, I don't know if the volume decreased, but it just felt like a lot easier because I was doing less reps. So by the end, I was begging for more. At the beginning, I was begging for it to stop. Overall, was a great program. I loved it. I loved every aspect of it. And it's definitely helped me improve my lifts all around for sure, especially with bench. Squats have been kind of hit or miss. All in all, it's been a lot better. I think I've just adjusted to working out at the McMaster gym and kind of gotten to a good groove there and the different setups and such. I've been focusing still a little bit too much on my elbow issue with the squats, and I think by the end of week 4 now, I finally realized that I just need to keep my elbows and arms in the same place the entire part of the squat and don't focus on that entirely. Just keep a nice tight shelf, and so this was actually my worst set here, the entire program, I'd say, entire block. But yeah, so that's one thing I've been keeping in mind. Another thing is I've been going back and forth between, do I start with my knees, do I start with my hips for squats, and then it just kind of dawned on me I should start with both of them at the exact same time, and that'll be the most efficient thing. And then here we go. This is the RPE 8 for 4, so I hit 375. Now, you could argue that it might be a little bit over RPE 8, but to be honest, I think it felt pretty good, all things considered. The last one, I really slowed down the footage, and it is to depth. It's really close, though. But I think part of the issue with that RPE 8 for 4 there, even if it is RPE 9, was that I wasn't used to going so heavy. The heaviest thing I touched was 315, so to jump up to 375 was definitely a shock to my body. I definitely took it a little bit cautiously, but I think that the strength is definitely there. I'm definitely improving with it. Yeah, so that's that. Maybe I should have went 5 pounds less, 10 pounds less, but regardless, it's a PR, and I'm amped about it. So high bar squats, they actually felt the best on week 1 and the worst on week 4. I guess the volume and the fatigue had really caught up with me through the rest of the program doing the high bars. Didn't feel that good. In fact, I think it was, which one, week 3, coming up in a bit, I actually failed a set of the high bars. And I don't think it was a matter of like any sort of technique breakdown. I was just tired, and you'll see it in a second. I just kind of gave up in the bottom of the hole, and I had this awkward, struggle to get out of it. Yeah, high bars were not feeling good, but you know what? That's okay because I'm low barring in competition anyways, so that doesn't really matter. But yeah, all in all, squats were really great for this program. Ups and downs as per usual, but it's interesting when I do this whole block in one session here. I get a more holistic view of my squats and how they've been going up, and overall it's been a lot better. I think the very last clip of these squats, it's probably in a minute or two, was probably some of my best squats, and that would be my pause squats for the last week 4. Actually, wait, this is here it is. I don't know, see, I just gave up. I was just kind of like, oh, I don't know. I just kind of thought that I was tired and I'm going to fail, and I did. Yeah, so, and then I killed it the next set. I think for high bar, I got to get more spring and bounce in the hole. I can't really treat like super slowly like I can with low bar and get away with it. And then this is the last one. It was kind of hard to find all the footage, but I made sure to get all of it. Again, this is just the accessory stuff, so it's not really as important, but just for some good perspective, if I can go back and see how I was doing on things. Um, that's pretty much it for all I want to talk about with squats. Actually, I will talk about these slow into the hole squats. I wasn't sure if I was doing them right on week one, and by I think I did them every other week. Week one, week three, and then week 2 and 4 was paused. Definitely do not like pause squats in comparison. The slow to fast is definitely my cup of tea. Um, I mean, maybe that's why I should be doing pause squats because they're obviously my weakness. Um, I think too differently about pause squats. I have to think of it as just a normal squat where I pause in the hole. I focus too much on the descent and weird things like that. Um, but yeah, so that's it for squats, and I will fast forward to bench. Here we go, bench time. This was my favorite lift the entire block. Not this particular set, but just in general. I have absolutely been loving benching. Everything has just been clicking for the right direction. It's just been clicking in a good way, is what I mean. Things are just feeling solid. I'm having a very consistent bar path, and I found that I've been able to push harder through sticking points, have better speed throughout the lift, focusing on keeping the consistent bar speed throughout the entire range of motion. But there's really nothing much to talk about with it. It's just everything's been feeling great. I am so amped for a huge PR come nationals. It's just going to be the best feeling ever, and it's only going to keep going up. You know, I finally feel like I've broken through the fourth wall. I'm just using really weird analogies that don't make any sense, but I just feel like I finally pushed forward, and now I'm going to start making huge amounts of progress. So I don't know if that's because of Otis and he was helping out my elbow, or the fact that I've been focusing on keeping my elbows under my wrists. Probably a combination of both, because before I was definitely over tucked. That, maintaining a consistent touching point on my chest, or rather belly, almost looks like, as well as my setup. After that one Calgary barbell video, thanks to Bryce so much for that. I've just mimicked his setup, and everything is so much tighter, so much more consistent. So absolutely loving it. The only thing to talk about really is at the end of the block for my very specific PR of the pin press, one board range, medium grip, RPE 8. I ended up hitting 185 for 3, and it felt phenomenal. I think I could have probably actually gotten maybe 190 or 195, and it would have still been an RPE 8. But I'll let you be the judge of that. So that's pretty much it for bench. Oh, also just to talk about, I know it's not on the screen right now, but the double stop bench with the band, my favorite. That is absolutely my favorite bench accessory. It helped me so much to get tighter, and to maintain a better setup, as well as to focus on the explosiveness. Absolutely love it, love it, love it, love it. Yeah, so that's bench, and I am very amped about it, and sweet PRs are coming. I cannot wait. All right, finally the deadlift, my favorite lift, although I wasn't really deadlifting much the entire block. Um, so the first 2 weeks, I was a cocky fuck. I didn't wear belts because I thought, oh, it's 67.5%. I don't need it. Um, and I didn't really, but I definitely, absolutely, positively hated the double stop deadlifts. Those were hard. I don't think I mean, I may have completed them fully 1 or 2 of the weeks, but it was very hard to complete. I found throughout the rest of the weeks, I got most of the volume in for it, even if I did it like in sets of 3 or 4 or 5, but it was not good. Um, but sorry, back to the belt. I wasn't really wearing a belt, so my speed wasn't there. Things were kind of moving slow. Um, but I thought, you know what, that's okay. I wasn't really caring about speed. I was just caring about consistent form, um, and just building up some good volume. Um, but it wasn't until week 3 that things really clicked. And I think it was a combination of wearing my belt and watching one JP Couchy video where I really focused on leaning back more, getting into a better position, and the weights just flew. It was awesome. I'm definitely going to keep that cue and work on it for. Oh, actually, here's the double stop deadlifts. Here's actually a full complete set. I just found that these absolutely killed me, and I just was not in a good position, and I was just absolutely miserable. I'd actually rather plank or do cardio than do these, and that's saying a lot because I love deadlift. Okay, yeah. So back to it. So here coming up is my best set, I think. So yeah, look at that. That is just, oh, the weights just felt so light in my hands. I felt like I had such an explosive lockout. Everything was feeling great. But I feel like I wasn't able to keep that same setup for week 4 when I went to heavier weights. So I need to practice it a little more. So maybe a little bit more volume for this peak for deadlift, or at least just more frequency, maybe 2 times a week instead of the 1. I think would help me out. Oh, I even show you the accessories for this week. Look at that. I'm a freaking awesome guy. Anyways, and then for week 4, when I went up to the RPE, 8 for 4, I listened to the inner Kermit in me, went too heavy. And it moved slow, but it wasn't hard. It was just, I think it was just not used to that kind of form, that kind of percentage. You know, I hadn't really touched more than around 400. So it moved up, but it didn't feel hard. It was just, it was like, you know, I could have probably done 2 more or 1 more, and it wasn't terrible. It was just slow, and I don't think I got into as good of a position as I did the week before. I think that was partly attributed to that. And I haven't touched the weights in so long, but I do think it was probably RPE 9, maybe closer to 8. And then I started thinking to myself, maybe the reason you asked me to do RPE 8 stuff is because you knew I would overshoot everything and do RPE 9 stuff. But that was your way of getting to do RPE 9. I don't know. Whatever it is, looking forward to your feedback, and I hope all is well with you, and I can't wait to see you at Nationals. So have a good one, Abby.